Well, hello everyone. I promised a video going more into depth on the new features introduced in Distance 1.0, and here it is. So, main thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be the new additions in the campaign, as well as the new achievements and how to get them and stuff like that. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. I'm just going to turn on my controller here, and then let's go ahead and start the arcade campaign. So, not gonna spend too much time on the level sets because those are just levels taken from both the developers um, stuff they've put in and also a collection of a handful of other levels like Particular Journey or Whisper or Vector Valley. Just stuff that the developers feel best reflected the game's visual and gameplay combination. Uh, so it's made up of both official levels and also some stuff from prominent members of the distance level making community. All right, let's see. So there's the campaign mode, which features cutscenes, which is something new that was added into the game. You can control cutscene cameras for main menu levels, not for anything else right now since there are only official campaigns, but in the future there might be implementation for custom campaigns. There's the Lost to Echoes campaign, which is a continuation of the Nitronic Rush story set in the Distance universe. And then there's, of course, the Adventure campaign set in Distance's own unique universe. So I suppose this would be a good time to jump into that. All right, here we have the opening scene, kind of blurry. You can see things are falling apart a little bit. Uh, some code running on the left side of the screen. We're kind of floating down a track here. Flying new mutation, preparing for transfer. HPV, boot up. It's a bunch of different code language running on the side. Having a close up on two major themes here. One is the virus looks like, and the other is the level car. Obviously, this isn't the actual car. And I really like kind of the music. It did a great job on really going in a specific direction with the soundtrack, which is something that the Nitronic team and Refract have been able to consistently do well. And as you can see, you can change the car for the campaign, so you're not stuck with the Spectrum, which is the name of the default car that you use. You can use any of the 5 built-in vehicles once you've unlocked them. Now I'll get into how you do that here in just a second. Okay. Oh, golly. All right. And there's a beeping sound for when you're going the wrong way. That's something new. Well, in Adventure, in the campaign you start off with no abilities. So right now I got just about brake and accelerate. And this also serves as a tutorial since they start you out with the bare minimum steering and boost, which is all very simple, easy to control. All right, and it looks like in some sort of an industrial area. It looks like there's a generator with some very heavy-duty piping going out of it. very big turbine. You'll also notice the sound the car makes is a little bit different as well. They've swapped out the vehicle sounds, as well as, of course, added sounds to objects, which is something now available in the editor. Another point that I'd like to add that anything that you see in an official map can be recreated um, to any extent, except for, of course, implementing your own content as far as. Oh, I'm going to stop talking right now. I'm going to switch my control scheme here so I can look around. And that's a little bit of world building right there. It looks like the array is, yeah, it's a collection of satellite cities basically. It's I guess kind of where people live in the future is on satellite cities in what's called the array. You're on a city that's got a specific purpose. Ooh, cockpit of a skeleton vehicle. I'm inside the rib cage. Um, each city serves a specific purpose. You might be part of an agricultural settlement that runs aquaponic farms, or you might be part of an engineering settlement that's in charge of structural maintenance, or kind of solving problems right in the array. It looks like they changed the drones up a little bit, or maybe those are just the spotlights I'm looking at. Yeah, they definitely got newer spotlights, and got a train system running through. Doesn't look like there's anything going through it right now. This is the Gnosis sector, GNOSYS. I think I'm pronouncing that right. We protect, we inspire. So I'm guessing this is the political capital of the array. Management, inner cities, engines routed to Sector 8. Evacuation is in effect due to fatal oxygen levels. So this is after some sort of a giant catastrophe. Something very bad has happened, and the city is all but abandoned. Kind of similar to the storyline we were getting in Nitronic Rush. And it looks like there's a timer going on for transit sector. Yeah, all the oxygen's gone. Okay. Oh no, wait, we're in sector 17. Okay, I was wrong. Transit sector. This is going to be the transit sector of the array. So obviously this sector is just as abandoned as all the others. This is going to be sector 17 of the array. So trains, as we saw, there's one main train that just kind of ran through sector 17. So kind of like the equivalent of the metro or the subway, um, as far as the array is concerned. What's going on here? And there's a train going through right there. Now it's over here, entering vacuum. So no atmosphere. There's an atmosphere in here. There's no atmosphere outside of this area. I don't know how they do it. They may use force fields. In fact, that may be what the laser grids are. The laser grids may be force fields that are implemented to kind of hold in the atmosphere. Looks like we're going away from the center. Nice, barely made that. There's another train that's going through, so it looks like there's quite a few trains. I'm not sure what those are carrying or where they're going, but they're routing the trains through this part of the array. Oof. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so long way. So looks like the teleporters that these sectors lead to are possibly infected, so they've been disabled. We get one ride out of Sector 17, and that's going to be the teleporter that's blue. You know how that works. The old tried and true color scheme. Red, infected, bad, hazardous. But this one's good. This is where we're going. All right. We're warping to Sector 16. And that is where I'm going to that's where I'm going to stay with the campaign, just in interest of kind of shortness. I'm going to keep it right there. Going to do another video series playing through the campaign, kind of exploring it more in depth. I think I'm going to split it into 3 parts, but for now, I'll focus on some of the other parts. At this point, just about everything we've covered except for achievements and the cheats. So with the addition of 1.0, the developers added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. 7, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. They added 9 new achievements, and each of the achievements unlocks something in the game. And I'm just kind of briefly go over what they all unlock, if anything. Some of them don't really do anything. Looks like, let's see here. Pumpkin King unlocks the car that you see here. The Encryptor, Halicon is unlocked by another one of the achievements, Gold Collector. You have to get gold on all the adventure levels in Sprint. Then there's also Spectrum, which you just get by default, obviously. Archive you get by completing adventure mode. Then Interceptor you get by completing the vendor bender achievement, which I will go over later. But in essence, you have to find these data cubes in each one of the levels in the Lost to Echoes mini campaign. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that you can only unlock achievements if you're not playing with any cheats. Cheats are just kind of used for fun, but you can't actually play with them and earn any achievements. And while we're here, I figure I might as well play around in the test level and just kind of show you what all the cheats do as far as gameplay is concerned. In the last video, I gave a real short overview because I had a pounding headache and I wanted to keep the video short, but I'll take this opportunity to go over it in depth. As you can see here, I'm trying to rebuild the Caterpillar Hyperpod, and that's going. But anyways, double objects, car, where is he? There he is. Nice. going to have this area to drive around. Options, cheats. Campaign Plus doesn't do anything in normal modes. It enables all abilities in campaigns, which was just an option and in the distance beta. There's motorcycle mode, which is fun. I'm guessing they added this kind of in response to some of the feedback that the devs got about the night cycle and some of the want for a motorcycle in the official release of Distance. For anybody who's watched the Nitronic Rush video that I released, the Night Cycle was a motorcycle that the developers put into the game but never enabled. It's there as far as program files go, but it's unfinished, not really fully implemented. It uses assets from the van to kind of load in, and then after that, it's its own vehicle. It has its own skin and model, but it's just not implemented officially like all the other cars are. So that's what motorcycle mode does. It's kind of a unique challenge for people who want to have less balance and stability and also fly faster and move faster and make sharper turns, etc. You can do some pretty crazy stuff as only it looks like a fifth, if that, a fifth or a tenth of a car. All right, and next up is Monster Truck. Hold on. You can combine cheats. So first I'm going to show you just Monster Truck mode by itself, and then I'm going to show you Monster Truck mode and Motorcycle mode, which I assume is pretty crazy, which I've never actually done before. So here we are in Monster Truck mode. Looks like you've got this whole undercarriage, and your wheels are a heck of a lot bigger. I'm guessing it's easier to drive over bumps and stuff in Monster Truck mode, and you also not as sensitive on the what's the word I'm looking for, where you bounce up and down on your whatever. So let's try motorcycle mode and Monster Truck mode. Nice. You're a big old motorcycle, and the wheels aren't actually attached to the body since most of the infrastructure is just sheared off. But it is a cheat anyways, so I mean, who cares? Okay, and then next is Skywalker, which disables flight but allows you to jump in air. So you can, of course, abuse this and just jump over and over and then gain altitude that way, but that's not as fun as it sounds. So there's that. There's not a whole lot to it. Make for some interesting change in gameplay. And then there's two visual cheats: film noir and stylized outlines. Film noir turns the entire thing black and white and adds a kind of graininess to it, like you're watching an old black and white film. Whereas stylized outlines gives a visual appearance that's similar to Borderlines. That's what made it aesthetically so unique, and so that's how a lot of people will recognize stylized outlines, and that's the easiest way to introduce it. Then, of course, there's Super Boost, which goes great with Skywalker because flying kind of boring when you've got an enormous turbine on the back of your car. It's basically just boost on steroids, allowing you to travel faster and farther than ever before. I guess it's the equivalent of like Nitrox. All right, so that's it for that. And then max damage is a fun little visual thing that accentuates any sort of damage you get. Like, for example, I just kind of lightly landed on my back. Now there's this giant hole through the car. Punches right down to the interior. And if I were to do the same thing, land on my front or on my back or on my side, well, you'll see. Yeah, just a whole section of the car is just gone. So any damage you get, instead of gauging the speed you were going when you hit the wall, it just automatically uses the maximum amount allowable to change the original body of the car. There's that, and then there's only two left. There's Bubble Car and Death Proof, which I'm going to do at the same time. Pretty self-explanatory, but Bubble Car is a little bit different. Bubble Car makes you look real big and fat. And Death Proof does something a little bit different. I'll spawn in a laser grid here in just a second to kind of show it to you. But here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to fly as hard as I can right into the ground. So head first, right into the ground as hard as I can. Here we go. Just bounced right off. Just ricochet. As you can see, I did well, actually, that didn't change anything. Not even a dent. All right. And if you're not playing with infinite boost, then you can't overheat as well. So let's uncheck that. Level settings, infinite cooldown, and let's add a laser grid if we don't already have one. Laser plane. Kill grid. Kill grid is what they're called. Let's put a kill grid right there. So anything below that kill grid is automatically terminated. But if you're playing with God mode enabled, deathless mode, then you just phase right through these laser grids. And of course, the death creep on the sides of the screen shows up, obviously, but nothing else. So I can drive around underneath a kill grid and boost for as long as I want. The only annoying thing is that your controller will vibrate at maximum intensity, and you'll have that alarm just keep going on. But nothing other than that. You can just keep doing it. Feels a little bit wrong. Not gonna lie. Feels a little bit like like I'm cheating nature or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's about it. Really, all that I think is worth going over. There are kind of more nuanced things which I'll go over in videos dedicated specifically to those things. Here in a while, I'm going to be going over some of the. Oops, let's turn those off. I'm going to be going over some of the different editor tools, for example, as well as playing through both campaigns. Going over differences in the arcade layout. And also, I think I'm going to have a walkthrough video on how to get the Vendor Bender achievement, as well as probably Pumpkin King achievement. And other than that, I think it's about it. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.